So I tested Chick-fil-A on my continuous glucose monitor, and it took my blood sugar to the moon. I was absolutely shocked how many people in the comments section thought it was normal. For the record, I am not diabetic. I'm very fit and healthy. So now I'm going to test 4 whole eggs cooked in bacon grease and 4 pieces of bacon. Bacon is life. I'm calling it right now. There's going to be a bunch of people in the comment section. They're going to tell me bacon's bad for you. They're probably the same ones that thought Chick-fil-A was good for you.
2 hours later.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a normal blood sugar response to eating a healthy meal.
The reasons that people are afraid of elevated blood glucose in the first place is because chronically elevated blood glucose is a hallmark symptom of diabetes and metabolic disorders, and it can lead to life-threatening complications such as damage to the eyes, kidneys, nerve, heart, and vascular system. With that being said, the only way for you to get glucose from your mouth into your cells where it can be utilized. With that being said, if we overlay this blood glucose response with a graph indicating what is healthy and what is a diabetic blood glucose response, this individual's blood glucose went up and then went right back down immediately, meaning this is a physiologically normal response to the consumption of carbohydrates, and we don't have evidence to indicate that this is pathological. On the contrary, yes, the consumption of a very high-fat meal led to very little blood glucose response. But hypothetically, if we turn the tables and put a blood triglyceride monitor on this individual after the consumption of that high-fat meal, we would see a large elevation and then decrease in blood triglycerides. Just like hyperglycemia, chronically elevated blood triglycerides also have some very nasty side effects, including increasing the risk of cardiovascular complications, increasing the risk of cognitive decline, and being associated with systemic inflammation and gut dysbiosis. However, in healthy individuals, blood triglycerides after a high-fat meal elevate and come right back down to normal, which is a normal physiological response to the consumption of fat. Although it may be enjoyable to manipulate our blood glucose wearing a CGM, the idea that any elevation in blood glucose that occurs after the consumption of carbohydrates is pathological is unsupported, the same way that I would not tell you any elevation in blood triglycerides after the consumption of dietary fat is pathological as well. There is a difference between chronic and acute elevations in a blood nutrient content, and although when chronically elevated, specific blood markers do give us an indication of specific health outcomes, the only way for you to consume food and allow your cells to absorb it is by it first entering your bloodstream and raising the nutrient content within your serum.